How are you, sir?
See you.
Good to see you. Good to see you. How was the drive?
Thanks for having us. All right.
All right. Hey, morning. Morning. Morning, brother. How are you?
All right.
All right. How you doing? You good? All right. The project with the schools in Marshall Albion started at about the time when the Albion schools, it was decided that they could not operate on their own and they were annexed to Marshall, which is a next door town, which has traditionally been the wealthier town, which has traditionally been the white town, while Albion is 30% black. So you are in the home base for free right arts and literacy. And free right arts and literacy primarily does work, arts education work. So Marshall found itself all of a sudden with a population of students with whom it was not familiar. And this was a very violent uprooting. Students came to school one day and found out that the next day they were going to be bused to Marshall. We believe that all of us are part of the work to make sure that they stop locking up young people, whether or not we are those young people who get locked up or not. This particular group of students are students who've had discipline problems at Marshall Middle School. And in their desperation to figure out how to serve these children, they created a program called the Hawk's Nest, in which they dedicated 3 of their best teachers to those students, but they also put them in a completely separate wing of the school. And so we went in to do some work with students at the Hawk's Nest. One of the things we decided that we would do to continue working with those students is to bring them here on a field trip.
Your story, your narrative, how you frame the world is what changes the world, right?
We try to talk to the kids about thinking of themselves as change makers, as agents of change, right? So how do you write your story and understand a better ending? How do you build a vocabulary for that? And we do that with poetry and we do that with art.
The young people in the Hawk's Nest at Marshall Middle School, we thought, needed to know that there were possibilities they had not considered, and possibilities we could show them connected to the art that we were teaching them. As luck would have it, the iconic Black Panther Party exhibit was happening here in Chicago. We were starting to talk to them about the ways in which learning how to write well or learning how to make art can lead to careers in particular things, and the way in which making art connected historically and contemporarily to the very real lives which they lived.
So in creating this exhibition, it was really important for me as a curator to sort of think about the charge of the work. Who does the art serve?
Women were on the front lines as community organizers, as artists.
That was the kind of art we were making, art that had a psychological impact that changed people's minds.
Among many things I think that we talked about hoping would come out of it, the idea of the potential for a creative life for a young person of color, I think in both in terms of the subject matter and then finding the through line to modern artists that are working in response to that. And we wanted them to be going back to the rest of their population in the Hawk's Nest and to have something extra to add to the conversation, because that's what art does, right?
I have a piece in there, so me and the other teachers were talking like that would be a good way for them to see how artists also get exposure as well, because you all know me as a teacher, but here, look at this side of me as a practicing artist.
1, 2, 3, 4, open up your door. I've been waiting outside for a very long time. 1, 2, 3, 4, open up your door. I've been waiting so long just to sing my song.
Roger was reading off the poem for the Tamir Rice piece. I was standing next to one particular student, and after Roger finished reading the piece, she was like, wow, that was deep. But it's cool, those moments where it's like, see, art does touch people.
If you're ready for this cosplay contest, make some noise!
So PocketCon, I thought might be a more direct connection to the art they're already making.
PocketCon is the celebration of characters of color and diversity within the comic book world. It's like a one-day convention. It's free for young people, and it's really a place for young artists as well as creators of color to just feel comfortable.
Who is the artist? Are the artists here who did these pieces? Can y'all come up to the front? Where y'all at?
One of my favorite moments was two of the young women who we taught in October had art that was on display at PocketCon. And getting to stand with them and take photographs of them with their art, it was fantastic.
The point of us doing a lot of these projects is not just so it can sit in a file cabinet or in storage. Like, it's how can we get this out so you can see how it impacts other people the way it's impacting me right now.
How y'all feel seeing y'all stuff when y'all walked in?
Your level of confidence just goes up in a way that me telling you you're great won't do.
All of these are amazing. I love these. And I was surprised to see mine in here. They just gave me faith in myself and made me think that I can actually do what I want to do.
Here is an entire comic book conference that says you can not only make art, but you can see yourself in characters who look exactly like you. So it was a great chance to bring them to see art shows that connected potentially to their lives and to the ways in which they might make art to impact the world, and therefore give them one more thing that we're going to show them that might be a place to walk towards. I can't think of a child who, when you find the place for them to learn something that they're interested in, that they don't take it. Literacy becomes not just about what they see written down, but also what they know, what they already know because of the world they live in. And so how do I access what you're already literate at? And how do we then translate that into other literacies that will serve you in the particular kind of world that we're living in?
We feel that a child who believes their story is really important will continue to fight for that story. So when we go into a school and we say we think that this is a difficult environment, how can we be of service to you? How can we support you so that you can understand and lift up your own story?
Things can happen differently. Like, you can shape what's around you the way you like it to be shaped. No words can do this. Like, you just have to see and experience what it is.
Free-write arts and literacy means you can be free to learn without having to worry about being imprisoned at all, to be part of their community and have their community learn from your mistakes as you learn from your own mistakes and grow out of that. That's what free-write arts and literacy means to me, and what I want it to increasingly mean to all the people who have a part in it.